coming off of a tough one against a really good football team in Troy. Had opportunities to go out there and go get it done, but now it's time for us to kind of move on to the next one here. We've got one chance left to get this team to bowl eligible and get this team to have the opportunity to play in the postseason, which is always one of the major goals. We've been stuck on this for a few weeks now, so it's time for us to go and accomplish that. There's a lot of reasons, why this game is always special. I think anytime it's senior night, you're honoring a group of young men that chose to come to this university. They chose to wear the vermilion and white and represent our program, our university, in a way that we can all be proud of. They've given a lot for this program, and we want to send them out the right way in their last home game. This will be the last game at Cajun Field as we know it, and certainly that means a lot to me in making sure that we finish this the right way with Cajun Field. And then, anytime you get a chance to play at home, just in general, that's always big. So, for us, there's a lot to play for, and getting win number 6 and getting to a bowl game is certainly the most important one for all of us right now.
Your guys moved the ball, made you better than almost any team that Troy has played this year. What were you able to do that you got that offensive success?
I think we executed well. I think our coaching staff did a good job, put together a good plan. Chandler Fields, I thought, did a really good job, made good decisions. I think our wideouts, tight ends, all of our skill guys did a good job stretching the field, making plays down the field whenever we needed it. In the run game, I knew it was going to be tough. Their front, I think, is pretty it's pretty elite for our league. I mean, to be honest with you, they've got 2 edge rushers that are a real problem. They're good against the run as well. They've got a nose guard who, in my opinion, is without a doubt the best interior defensive lineman in the league. So I knew, that might be tough sledding at times, but we were able to get some explosive runs, which were big for us at times and helped us move the ball. So, I think our kids just played really well. They competed really hard. A couple plays away from scoring enough points there, but they played well. They competed hard, and I think our staff did a good job putting a plan together they could execute.
Coach, how do you expect this team to respond with their backs against the wall, especially against clearly one of your top rivals in the conference?
I expect them to respond like we always do. I expect them to come into work. I expect them to get ready to go, to put our best foot forward, have our best week of preparation. We asked them to prepare last week and to go out there and compete like it was a conference championship. And they did that. We didn't come up with the results we wanted, but that was what we asked as far as the preparation and the way that they competed. That's the standard now, and that's what you have to do. And then this time around, we need to execute a little bit better in some critical situations, and then, we'll be where we want to be. So I expect them to respond the way they always do, and I expect us to come out this week, have a great week of preparation, and prepare to win a game on Saturday.
What does ULM do that maybe you're kind of aware of or, kind of piques your interest a little bit, and maybe you guys have to focus on?
You could say it causes concern. Yeah, as everybody does. I think it starts, defensively. They're so multiple. We talked about some of these other teams that we've played. Like, there are a lot of ID issues here. Like, it's not. There are a lot of just strange alignments and things that make it kind of complicated to put your finger kind of on what they're doing. We talked about that a little bit against South and some of these other teams that we've played a little bit. Old Dominion, kind of going back to the beginning of the year. This is a very unique defensive lineup and setup. I think they've got good players up front. I think their D-line is very, very active. They're going to stunt the front. They're going to move the front, and they do a pretty good job, up front. So that I think that's the first thing that really causes you concern. And then secondly, on offense, they've kind of adapted and adjusted a little bit to kind of this 4 open, wide split offense that we've seen a few times this year that, to be quite honest, has given us some trouble at times in the year. So for us defensively, we got to put together a good plan that our kids can go out there and execute, and we've got to fix some things that happened, particularly earlier in the year. But I think that's when you look at it, that's kind of what you look at and say, all right, those are the first two things that jump out at you.
How do you get your guys not to take a team that's lost 9 straight lightly?
I think we've lost 3 in a row, so we shouldn't be taking anybody lightly.
The third and longs, nothing is one thing all the time, but has it been more lack of pressure or just not covering better in the back, or is it even more complicated?
It's a combination of things. You go back, I can think of 3 of them, right off the bat last week. One of them, we have a boundary pressure with the corner and we don't get home and they run 4 verts. And, when you bring a 6-man pressure, you got to get home. That's why you're bringing it, and we don't get home. One of them, we're in 2-man and we got the dang thing bracketed and, we don't drive the inside piece of the route and it's a conversion. One of them, we have, a cross dog pressure, and they run the ball up the middle and we don't hit the right gap. We get washed out of the gap and it opens up a gap. So it's not one thing. I wish it was just like, hey, we need to pressure more, all right, and we're going to get it fixed. Or, hey, we need to just play more coverage and we're going to get it fixed. It's, we're not sitting back there just letting it happen. We've got to execute better regardless of what the call is. And it's a number of things. You've got opportunities to get off the field. The 3rd and 1s, you can live with those all day. You get to 3rd and 8 and over again, you can't get off the field. We've had times throughout the year, it wasn't particularly last week, but we got the dang guy wrapped up for a sack and we don't finish and he spins out and throws a touchdown, whatever the case may be. It's a number of different things, and it is execution in critical situations. And that's been the story, that's been the story for us. And, when we get over that hump and we start doing it the way that we practice it, the way that we prepare to do it, we'll be where we want to be. Right now it is just, like I said, I think last week it's just so frustrating because, you're so close to it. And it's just kind of if it was one thing, it'd be easy to address and to fix, but it's not just that, okay, well, we play man on this down and we're just getting beat every time in man. It's not that, it's we are mixing things up and doing it. And we have got to execute. We got to make sure we prepare them to execute. And then we need to execute the plan in critical situations. That's just kind of what it is.
The running game, have they been hurt more of late with passing teams, passing game, or running game?
Naturally they give up more yards passing, which most teams do. I think the run game against them is a little bit kind of it's kind of feast or famine because they, like I said, that there's some really unique looks there on defense. So they do create a lot of negative plays. I think some of the teams that kind of stick to the run and do a good job with it, they do, have some production on the ground. But I would say overall, people have thrown, there are more explosives in the throw game and things like that than there are in the run game if you're just asking for one or the other.
Anything else for Coach?
What's it going to take I know Zion's not here, but you still need to run the football. So, what's it going to take to get the running game going, do you think?
Well, last week we didn't run it very well. I don't know if you're going to run for 200 yards every game. That's not easy to do. We were averaging 190 yards a game before last week. So, we just got to get back and we got to be sound. We got to make sure we cover it up. We got to press it the right way, and we just got to make sure we got our players in good run schemes. And that's just kind of, the game you got to play. To say we're going to go out there and run for 200 yards, I don't think I'd ever stand up here and say that. But, we got to continue to try to establish it. And the game last week, statistically wasn't very good. At times we had big runs that helped us and sparked us. So, we still got to be able to do that. And, you know, it's a collective deal. You know, it's not, we got to make sure we're in good design, make sure we ID it correctly, and up front on the edges, we got to block it well, and then our backs have to continue to hit it well. You know, and we've got to just, it's something that you always want to establish, and we go into, and that's always where it starts. And I think for us this week, if we can run it effectively, I think that'll certainly help.
How many seniors being honored this weekend? Do we know?
I don't have the total count for you yet. We're still working through. We're working through some things between COVID and you know, recruiting them to come back for one more year, and you know, all that stuff. So it's now it'll be, you know, probably, you know, somewhere around 12, you know, something like that.
Is that an indication of how young your team still is, that you only have that number of seniors?
Yeah, it is, and that's why we're still excited about what we have right here in front of us. I mean, I told y'all this a long time ago, all right, and you can go back to last year. You know, we lose 40-something scholarship players the first year, and then all of a sudden everybody expects you to, you know, go 14-0 again, which is fine. You know, we knew last year going into this year, I told you guys in the spring, we have a chance to have a really good team because we're a talented young team. And we had a chance to have a really good team. Right now, our record doesn't indicate it, but our kids have grown this year, and we've gotten better. And the experience that we've gained this year, it's going to pay off. And when we come out of this thing on the back end, I know what it's going to look like, and so does our team. So, yeah, I'm excited as hell about the kids we have coming back. We got a bunch of damn guys that could be walking that said they're coming back next year. So, yeah, we're really excited in this building. And I talked to our kids about this 2 weeks ago. We know what we've got in this building. We know the team that we have. We know the type of people that we have, and we know what's coming for us. And for us, we've got to stay focused on what's important and not let somebody else shake our jar, right, and cause us to start worrying about things that aren't important. So, yeah, we're very excited about the youth of this team. And while at times it's hard and it's frustrating, that's the fun part about coaching. You get to see them grow, and they're growing, and they're going to keep getting better, and we're going to land on our feet somewhere, and this thing's going to be really good when it all works out.